What's up, nerds and turds? Welcome to Indies Nuts Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, it's my two brosifs from other Mosifs. We have Mr. Nuff, a.k.a. Matt Murray, or Matt Murray, a.k.a. Mr. Nuff. What's going on, Matt? How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Pretty good.
Yeah, we're going to do a show. Are you excited? I'm excited.
I'm amped.
This other doofus is Andy Asimakis, a.k.a. the Pants Guy. Nobody calls him that.
Because I don't wear pants.
Correct.
So it's kind of like...
How are you, Andy?
It's ironical.
You have a lot in common, Andy.
I'm doing good.
I feel like you have a story for the class today. I don't know why.
Oh my god, I do have a story.
Okay, yeah, I had a feeling.
It's gonna be a short one though, but it's
Oh,
actually
boy.
kind of funny. So a few months ago, I posted an item on eBay.
Okay.
You know Rugrats. You've both done Rugrats, right? The
Love
cartoon,
Rugrats.
Nickelodeon
Great
days,
cartoon.
you know, back in the days.
Great reboot too. They're doing a good job on the new
Correct.
show as well.
And you know who Reptar is also.
Yes.
Reptar.
Mhm.
So I came across a Reptar purple collectible figurine at work in like some trash like donation pile. I was like, this looks like it could have some value to it. I'm just gonna sell it because why not? I'll just sell it there on eBay.
Sure.
It was like a $50 was the going rate. I was like, all right, I'll post it for 20. Boom. See what I get back from that. Months go by.
Months.
No nibbles.
No nipples.
And
No nipples.
I kind of forgot about it, to be honest.
Okay.
Kind of forgot about it. Then one day I checked my phone and I had all these alerts of messages from this guy that bought it from me.
Oh.
And he was like, I paid you. Where the fuck is my Reptar? It's been weeks.
No.
And I was like, holy
One
shit.
star.
I was like, holy shit, this guy like actually bought this thing. And I totally like just ghosted him. So I was like, listen, man, I'm really sorry. This was like a 6 months old posting. I totally forgot about it.
Huh.
I'm really, really sorry. If you still want it, you can have it free of charge. I'll just ship it to you. It's yours. Because I don't want the negative feedback.
Yeah. And you know, it was a
Right.
dumb thing that happened.
It was totally on me.
Yeah.
I'm okay, whatever.
Uh-huh.
He writes back moments later,
Fuck you.
fuck you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man. Okay.
And I was like, all right, you know what? I deserve
Goodbye.
that. It's okay.
But also goodbye.
I'm going to take that. I'm not going to engage. We're cool. Whatever. Have a nice life.
Uh-huh.
5 minutes later,
Oh boy.
he replies back again. Just so you know,
Oh no.
I practice the dark arts and I'm going to focus all of my energy
Okay.
on you.
Yeah.
And at that point,
Uh-huh.
I was like, God is real. 'Cause he has given me a gift today. I was like, I'm going to engage.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, oh, that's funny. Why not use your dark arts to get this toy instead of trying to curse me somehow? And he writes back. He's like, you know how the dark arts work? You're going to disappear one day from the world and no one's going to know what happened
Fuck
to you.
for a Reptar doll,
Yeah.
my man. Like, it's
Uh-huh.
okay.
I reply back, I just found $5 on the street. Was that your dark arts at work? Thank you so much. He replies back, calls me every curse word,
Uh-huh.
every expletive, every racial slur imaginable.
Wow, racial slurs. Okay.
Yeah, it was like.
Did he go for
it
the
was-
Greek?
Yeah. You can't tell what I am from my username. It's just a bunch of letters. It's like some random thing. And
What is the racial slur for a Greek
don't-
person?
I'm trying to think.
Opa?
I mean, they would used to call. Listen, they would call people like greasers, grease balls. Remember that term?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
back
yeah.
in the
Sure,
day?
sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where that originated. What?
That was a term.
Grease ball. Hey, you grease
Yeah,
ball.
you grease ball.
I am
uh,
from Greek. I take offense to that.
This is a wonderful podcast.
Would you
Ladies
like
and
to taste
gentlemen,
my grease balls?
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Indies Nuts Podcast. We are your new home for all things indie game news, previews, and reviews. So hit that sub button and sit back and relax. Why dual screens? It's simple. It's so simple. We've interviewed like 300 developers, indie devs, voice actors, all that kinds of stuff. So we eat, shit, and sleep indie games. So here we are at Indies Nuts to just regurgitate that poop right like a baby bird right into your mouth. We're gonna give you that news, that indie news, and that hotness. If you want to support us on Patreon, please go to patreon.com/dual-screens, just like our Patreon producers, Colton the Apprentice Nutzler and FNH Paul. We cannot continue to grow without all of your support, and as little as $1 gets you a bonus episode every month and access to our VIP Discord, where you can hang out with us, ask questions for the shows, and all of that fun stuff of that nature. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start off. Ooh, sorry, I just punched my mic. We are going to start off with massive, 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 massive news. Something that Andy and I thought of while we were at PAX this year with Matt, actually. We were all together at PAX. We conceptualized this idea. All of these indie devs that we know, all of these games that people walk by, can't even see on the show floor. These developers paid top dollar to get booths at PAX. They used to pay top dollar for E3. No E3 this year. And we decided that we're going to put a little bit of that indie muscle, a little bit of those connections to work. Isn't that right, Andy?
Yeah, this has been like in the back of my mind for a very long time. I think in January, during the whole like panel submission portion of PAX East, and I got no nibbles. I was like, well, that's kind of a bummer. I want to do something with people on some level. And then getting to PAX was like, here's an idea that's like right in front of our faces the whole fucking time. And this is a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, guys.
What is it? We didn't even say what it is.
So we have announced another indie game showcase.
That's right.
Exactly what it is. It is another indie game showcase.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Dual Screens presents another indie game showcase. It is our first indie game showcase, but it is yet another indie game showcase where we are going to be giving you updates on brand new trailers, updates, and even some reveals, Andy.
Just a few.
Yeah, we made some friends along the way who want to show some stuff for the first time. So I'm very excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little nerve-wracking. I'm high anxiety.
High anxiety,
which I don't do normally.
Smell Brooks.
How's Steven doing? I can't even imagine how he's doing right now.
This is okay. So if it's a little peek behind the curtain of how, so we are as indie gets as far as podcasts go. Like we are literally held together by duct tape, and I'm not joking. My desk is literally held together by duct tape. I was doing something the other day trying to fix my microphone, and remember I did a whole 2 shows with my mic mount just breaking, like literally held together by duct tape.
You did it though.
And so knowing that there's another shoe that's about to drop and it's all going to drop on my lap at the exact same time is absolutely terrifying. I have 0 graphics made, 0 transitions made. I have 0 script because I don't know the games we have. I know literally nothing about this thing except for this person's reaching out. Should we do this? Blah, 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 and I know that we're going to have like 35 games.
We have like a list of our games in the Discord, right?
No. Here, I don't know enough about them to write a script.
I don't think you need to write a script about them though. It's like
no, not about them. I need to know what these trailers are so that I could get the feel for where they're gonna live.
He needs the vibes.
Like when we watch a showcase and we're like, the pacing was a little off. This tone was a little weird. Like I don't want that. I want us to be pacing and tone, baby.
You know what's a good pace? You just show the games and walk away when you're done showing.
Yeah, but you
games.
can't be like, well, what if a trailer? What if a trailer is like? What if a trailer just needs to breathe? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So anyway, tell our listeners who we've announced so far that's going to be on this.
Oh yeah.
Now that he's gotten that out of the way,
I'm terrified to edit.
Well, first of all,
I can understand.
We should reconfirm the date, August 17th. Mark your calendars, 3 p.m. Eastern time.
YouTube.com/DualScreensTV. It's going to be a live premiere. We'll all be there to watch it together. Please, if you guys have your own channel or network or something, please live stream it. Do it. Live react. We're going to have like 30 to 40 games on this thing. So it's going to be great.
Seriously, Come hang.
So, should I say the games or the developers?
Let's do like developers and like what other games they may like people may know.
Let's just give a little
Yeah.
a little taste.
Like
I'll
oh,
give
a
a little
publisher,
taste.
you know, like
I'll give a
like
little
we have
taste.
PM Studios, for example.
Don't
yeah,
you don't
PM
want to
Studios
cow
is
ahead of the milk.
definitely is showing some stuff. They're showing Exophobia and the Courier.
Good
Release
games.
dates will be shown at this event.
Nice.
Those are confirmed. Screenwave Media is showing off Iron Meat
We
and
love
some other
Iron Man.
stuff, which
Ooh.
I don't know about yet.
Interesting.
And,
And
like,
they're
we're
of course the publishers of the AVGN games as well.
Yes, and Eagle Island, one of my
And
favorite. games.
Eagle Island, so good. That's how we made friends with them, was through Eagle
Oh
Island.
yeah,
Through
Mhm.
Michael?
Nick.
Mike, yeah. I'm sorry.
Close.
I was close. That was a very long time ago. Don't
I
be
know.
mad at
Yeah,
me.
I remember that
Mhm.
episode. It was a good one.
Let's see. Catchweight Studio, which is making a little game called Conscript. It's like a PS1 style top-down horror game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all things Andy. Berserk Boy Games making Berserk Boy. That's like a side-scrolly, pixely platform Mega Man-y
Heck yeah.
type game.
All right, don't spoil everything. Who?
Well, it's in the announcement. It's in the thing. It's on
Alright,
it's in the Twitter. So
Okay.
check it out.
It's in
You
the
can
Twit
see it
space.
there.
It's in the Twitter.
Yeah. Oh wait, I will say one last thing.
Yes,
One last thing.
please do.
The creator of Shotgun King is going to reveal
Yes.
his next game for the first time on this.
I'm very
Showcase.
excited.
The next game or the game for September?
His September game.
Yeah, I was gonna
Which
say
is-
because it makes a
which-
game every month. So
Which
yeah,
has
Not
no
the next
idea.
game after. Yeah, not the next game after.
they
no
literally
idea what
don't
game
know
it's
what
gonna
that
be.
game is gonna be yet. So they will know in August.
Sure.
So
Telling you guys, duct tape.
yeah,
It's like,
they will have.
No, but that's what makes it exciting, guys.
I know. I
not
know.
even
It
we
is
know what's in this goddamn.
They're
thing.
flying by the seat of their pants. We're flying by the seat of their pants.
Yes, all seats of all pantses are being flown by. That is exactly
but
exactly right.
this is really exciting stuff, guys.
But
feel like
I think like the most exciting thing about this, Andy, is how many people responded to our announcement and have
Yeah.
reached out to be a part of it.
oh my god, I'm trying to wonder where is my email address posted, because they're all addressed to me. Hey Andy, hey Andreas. I'm like, is my email like it's not on Twitter?
That's weird.
I don't know where where my email's coming from.
Maybe they're
Probably the
searching you.
website, actually,
yeah, right.
possibly
because
yeah.
I think it's on the website.
Oh yeah, maybe.
yeah, that's
true.
probably where.
But I was just like, these are all, and it's like I'm getting bombarded, guys. It's like when we first talked about this, Matt and I were just like, will we have enough games to show?
Right.
Like I want to get at least 20 and have like 8. This is like 2 months ago. Now we're like talking about we got to cut off at 35, 40 games because
Listen, I don't care if we ever cut it off. We don't have to ever cut it off, but we need to like.
I don't know if that's
I
true
mean,
for you, Steve.
No, because if it's as easy as just like putting the thing and just having a transition, like I'm okay with that. Like whatever, keep it coming. But hentai?
Sure.
Hentai games? That genre has
I mean,
reached
you
out.
You saw one of those games I put in the Discord, right?
I did. And I feel like it could be made funny. I feel like we can do
but
it
hentai?
funny.
I
Tongue
don't
in
think
cheek.
it's hentai. I
tongue-
think it's
tongue
like
in-
straight up fucking. That's
tongue
all
in
there's
butt
hentai about it.
Tongue and butt cheek.
Tongue in
Steve.
butt cheek. Yes. Tongue in butt cheek humor. All right. Well, that's that. So keep it pinned at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. Another indie game showcase coming to
Like
you
that, we're
live,
gonna
August
end
17th.
that announcement on tongue and butt cheek.
Tongue and butt cheek. Indie game adventures time. I'm gonna start us off by saying thank you to Andy, who has forwarded me a Steam Deck.
Look at that thing.
There it is.
Beautiful. Hand
here.
delivered, baby.
Hand delivered.
yeah.
I am paying for it. Don't worry. It wasn't free.
He's on an installment plan.
I'm in an installment plan. I made my
It's
first
on the
installment.
when I can pay installment plan.
But I wanna show you guys something. It's a visual podcast. Hold on. Where is it?
I will give you the money.
Here
When I
is
have
the
it.
case for this thing that it comes
Oh,
with.
it's so sexy.
Okay.
It is.
Great.
Now I'm gonna show you something
Little
in a
indie machine
second.
over there.
Okay. And I want to see.
All you audio listeners.
I want to see your reaction. Remember, you can watch the show live on twitch.tv/dualscreenstreams or
Or
later on demand on youtube.com/dualscreens
Or we
TV.
cannot do
Okay,
show and tell
you
in
see
an
it?
audio show.
You see it? You see it here? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to open
Yeah.
it real quick. Okay.
Okay.
You see
All right.
you see I'm opening it.
all right. It's a case in a case.
That was my Switch in the Switch case in the Steam Deck case.
What? Oh, that.
And
oh,
that's an OG Switch, right?
That
Yeah.
is an OG
Oh my god.
real
it's
Switch.
that big, huh?
This is the Switch.
She's a big boy.
Look at that. Look at
yeah.
that.
Wow.
It's massive.
I want to get your initial thoughts, Steve.
Okay.
How does it feel to you? Comfort.
What have you
wise?
played
it
on it so
actually
far?
it actually feel I've downloaded games. I have not played anything yet.
Mhm.
I'm ready to explore tonight after the show. I'm gonna play some shooters because I feel like the twin sticks. It is lighter than I thought it would be
Mhm.
because all of the weight is right in the very center of the the Steam Deck, so it feels very nicely balanced. I feel like it's gonna get a little sweaty.
Mm.
That would be one concern I have.
Does your Switch get sweaty when you're holding it? What about it
So-
makes you think it's gonna get sweaty?
I just well because
Like
it
the
gives
texture?
it gives off a lot more heat
Sure.
like instantly. So there's that. I
Runs hot.
also that it fits like my hand is touching more plastic because the
Mhm.
controller is the controller parts like are actually bigger, whereas the Switch would give like a little bit of space
Mhm.
from where you're gripping. If you have big, I don't have big hands, but like I have adult hands, I guess. It doesn't feel that great with double shoulder button press grip.
Mhm.
Doesn't feel too great, but it feels
Too
really
big.
good with single.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. That's fair.
So it feels good like that. I can't wait to try the trackpad, see how that works. These thumbsticks feel very loose, but they have good touch, if that makes sense.
Mhm. 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 They're not flimsy though.
No, they're not flimsy. They're just they glide. They're
Right.
it's almost like rubbing ice cubes on an assy nipple, Just
What did you just say?
Ice cubes on
On
an
an assy nipple. Steve, 2022.
Oh, anyway, I'm excited to jump in on that. I'm gonna play Gunfire Reborn. I'm gonna try games that are not optimized just to see what happens. And maybe I'll be playing some new games that Matt tells me about. Matt, what have you been playing?
I have been playing. I just started this game called Gods Will Fall. I have been.
I know
It's
this
been on
game.
my radar for quite a while, and it's on the new PlayStation Plus Premium Extra Super Ultra subscription service.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it and I started playing it, and it's a really interesting concept. The gods created a world. They're like, hey, we're the gods and you're the servants, and eventually that didn't go so hot, and the servants were like, fuck you, we're gonna come kill you or whatever. And they tried, and a bunch of survivors ended up on this island, and you roam around trying to kill these gods in a very like almost Souls-like way, right? Like you're going around this island trying to kill them, but you roam around as the giant group of survivor warriors, and they all have different stats and weapons and all this stuff, and they're randomly generated from what I have taken in from the game so far. And you'll come to a dungeon and you pick one of them to send into the dungeon to like fight everything that's inside, kind of power up, get gear, get different items and all that kind of stuff, and eventually fight the boss. But you can die when you're in there.
Uh-oh.
And if you die when you're in there, you can send another survivor in to go try to beat the dungeon, as well as get the dead survivor out.
That's like
keep your team.
That's like Rainbow Six
Oh.
Extraction. That's that premise as well.
Yeah, well, so it's pretty interesting so far. I definitely just punched my mic, but
welcome to the club, bud.
Yeah, I
Andy,
know.
you want to get it over with?
Yeah, you want to just hit it?
You want to just give your mic a fucking elbow drop or something?
Cool, there you go.
There you go. All right, there we are.
I've had a really good time with it so far. The combat is a little floaty, and I don't understand the parry entirely yet. But the little bit that I've played with it is very intriguing, and I would highly suggest checking it out. I've seen it on sale several times in a lot of different places, or if you have the PlayStation Plus subscription, extra plusy, super premium, super gulp edition.
Oh yeah.
A big gulp. Steve, where does one get one big water from?
You bought you. So here's what you do.
Buy a tub.
You go
Buy
you
a
go
tub.
to IKEA.
Get that big thing of Crisco.
IKEA has
Use
those
it all up.
big packs of like to go
Lather yourself
Tupperware,
in it.
and you just get the biggest one. And you fill it with water,
Love it.
throw an entire tray of ice in there, and you're good,
good
for
to
the
go for
next
the whole
3
night.
hours. Like you
Yeah.
got 3 hours of water. You're gonna pee.
What's the
A
actual
lot.
What's the actual volume of that bucket? Do
I
you know?
Yeah,
think-
Like,
how many,
it's got to be like a gallon and a half.
Well, it's one. So one Brita or pitcher, which is a liter. So it's
Okay.
probably 2 liters of
All
water.
right.
Probably.
Is that healthy, Steve? Drinking
I-
2 liters
over the
of
course of
water
a
in 3
night.
hours?
Yes, of course.
Uh,
Gotta flush the
How
toxins
many
out.
ounces are in the liter?
I know this. Hold on.
Man, I don't know.
32.
I don't know the metric system. Oh, is that it? Is that real?
That can't be.
You're
That's
just
not.
making a
I don't.
guess.
No, I
That
think
feels
he's
Yeah,
right.
that doesn't sound right to me at all.
That feels right.
Because you're like a gallon is like a half a Brita, and it's like a
No, I didn't
pitcher.
say a gallon. I said a liter.
He's right.
Yeah.
Is it?
33.8.
Yeah.
Oh, so
see, I knew
two-
that
so,
shit.
So 2 of them is actually
It's
good.
it's 60
actually-
ounces. That's nothing.
There you go. All right.
That's
All
really
right,
good.
that's
for you.
fair. All right, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Is
I
it
don't know
two liters?
conversions.
I aim
Who
for like
fucking
100 a
knows?
day.
4
so,
liters
yeah.
is a gallon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
4 liters is a gallon. Is that true?
I don't fucking know. Math is
Steve,
hard.
You're just throwing out numbers,
I am.
man.
You're right. Andy, are you playing anything?
I'm playing stuff.
What are you playing, bro?
So I'm playing 2 things. One is semi old-ish.
Okay, we love those.
It's not that new.
Maybe
it's
some
been
stuff
out,
under the radar, you know?
Been out for a while.
Okay.
Mighty Goose.
Oh, I know. this
Mighty Goose is fucking Metal Slug, but you're a goose. That's like the best way I can describe it.
one. Okay. Sold.
Yeah, you can honk
Mighty
at enemies,
Goose.
which does nothing at all.
Huh?
And there's a cool. Then there's a cooldown for the honk for
course.
some reason.
Obviously.
because, you know.
Because
why not?
obviously. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
It's it's a jumpy, shooty
Jumpy shooty.
platform with a goose
Honestly,
and a mech.
that
Yeah.
might
sounds
be
great.
one of the
Yeah.
best genres but also easiest genres to fuck up, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
Platforming?
it's
Run gun shooty
Yeah.
like side scroll
Yeah.
like Contra likes.
Yeah, right. That's
They're
fair.
very easy to screw up.
it's super arcadey.
Yeah.
It's Metal Slug minus the Nazis and plus goose. That's all it is.
And
Alright.
who are the enemies to said goose?
They're like aliens, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Sick.
And you can like get companions in the game. Like you rescue like pigs and ducks and other things that like they fight alongside you.
There's
And neat.
if there's
Are there
one
diff-
thing.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy. Go
Are there
ahead.
different mechs? Like, or is it
Yeah.
just like the one mech?
There's like tanks and rolly wheel
Yeah.
things, and it's a whole bunch of like
Yeah.
Sick.
giant walking armor thing. It's really neat.
I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Mm.
Do not fuck with a goose. Like ever.
Yeah.
Goose
You've known this
does
game for a
not
vicious.
long
give
time.
a fuck about you, about your family, about your nothing. Zero. Goose do not care. Goose can snap your arm in a second, and they will, by just
And if there's
flapping their wings
if
at
there's
you.
multiple and like one of them starts getting pissed at
Yeah.
you and you like
yeah,
you're trying to wave
Yeah.
them off, they
Yeah.
all get mad.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's like when
It's a sign of
when
aggression.
it's like back in the 90s when like one of the old Italian men would get into a fight with like another Italian old man, and then like all the Italian old men would come out and go, "Ah, ma fagula," and they'd just be yelling at each other. Everybody's across the street. They got sticks, broomsticks. It's exactly what it's like, but geese. I'm Italian. I could say that.
Thanksgiving for Steven in the Fontana household.
No, see, we were very tame.
or
but
Tuesday.
Steve's just like running away from a bunch of geese, like, Grandpa, stop
you
it!
don't want to fuck with a goose. They will mess your whole day
But-
up.
By the way,
What else
Matt,
you playing?
The game is on my Steam, so it's also your game now.
Oh, look at that, Matt.
So you know. And
'Cause-
another
'Cause we're a
game
family.
I
Weird.
was playing, which I never heard of. What's it called again? Far Away from Home.
I
So
think I
Far
know
Away
this
from
one.
Home is a game where this came from our indie showcase announcement. Some guy was like, "Hey, I saw your thing. It looks cool. Here's my game. Here's a code. It's out when your showcase is out. I want to be a part of it."
Ooh, it's a tactics game.
So I was like,
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
"Thanks for coming on the show, and thanks for giving me your game." It's really cool. It's a tactics game. You're in the present time, and there's like this hadron collider experiment thing happening on the news, and there's like a doctor watching it, a weightlifter watching it,
Oh no.
a weeb with a samurai sword in the woods watching it, apparently.
That's
And they all get like sucked into time in the same place. And they're like, "Where are we? What do we do? What's going on?" And they all team up and they fight shit tactic style. The interesting thing is there's like two types of units. One's like your basic, when the HP is run out, they die and they're dead.
okay.
The other units are called focus units. They have FP points. When those run out, they don't die. You have like an extra turn to revive to give them FP,
Mhm.
and they won't die. So it's like a last ditch, one last shot
Interesting.
to heal them, or else they'll die.
Yeah, it's like a last man standing kind of deal.
Yeah, so it's interesting. There's a dog. you
Last
play
stand
as.
kind of deal, not last man standing kind of
Yes,
deal.
you play as a dog.
Uh
Kind of cool. I like it.
Huh. See?
But yeah,
The showcase is already making magic.
yeah. I was like, a game I never heard of.
So it's
ever.
coming out
Oh, I like
the
this
day of our
overworld.
showcase?
So this is coming out the day after our showcase.
Okay.
Which is like,
hopefully you were allowed to talk about it.
oh yeah, for sure.
Not that a solo dev would give you an embargo, but you know what I
No, he was like, review it. Talk how
Please,
about it. I
please
was
talk
like,
about my
"Great."
game.
I was like, great. I'm all
I
about
really
that.
like the look of the overworld. There's like one of the screenshots kind of gives you a glimpse of a little bit of what the overworld looks like, and it's
Yeah, it
I-
has, like,
fun looking.
it's got like polished like graphics and little sprites also like just slapped on. Look kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very like PS1 tactics kind of
Mm.
game.
Mhm.
Even has like tactics font, and it thinks that my controller of the Xbox kind is like a PS1 controller. It's like, this is X, this is square. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I like it's little touches. So yeah, playing that.
Our indie steal of the week comes from the Itch.io indie bundle for abortion funds.
Mhm.
Every once in a while they'll put a bundle of games together on Itch.io. Like all the creators will come together, and they'll put something up for dirt cheap.
Mm-hmm.
For $10, you will get 792 games.
It's ridiculous.
God.
It's
Oh
like
my
too many, but
And
Oh my
it's
God.
yeah.
I've done this before for other charities, and a lot of these games are in there. I don't care. I'll just give them another $10. But
Yeah.
like some of these games are like big games. Calico is on here. Bloodstone, Neon Black. What else we got? Scroll down a little bit. Oh, remember that desktop goose? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
That it's just a goose that lives on your desktop and eats all your icons.
Yeah. That's what
That-
that's in this bundle.
Yeah, that's in the bundle. I mean, it's great. The-
Desktop
my
goose.
favorite.
Oh shit, bleeds in here. Bleeds.
I was
in
just
here.
Yes,
gonna say
Bleed
that,
is
yeah.
great.
There's one. There's
Des-
a game here
the-
called
the-
Eat Volve that looks really good.
the description for desktop goose. I have created a goose that lives on your desktop. He is an asshole. That's it. That's the description.
Oh, bleed too. Holy shit.
Yep. Batbarian is on here. What else we got?
Can I just give $10 and not have to play any of these games? I feel
Yeah,
like
they'll
the-
just
the
live on your itch.
obligation- the
They'll just live in your itch
obligation-
account. Yeah.
I
Yep.
know, but still that they're there though.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to own the games because
Yeah.
now it's like I'm not gonna play
But
any of them.
there are literally there's 792 games right now. The average donation is $16.60. They are 56% of the way to their goal. Their goal is $400,000. So they have raised almost $225,000 so far. There's a week left on this, so if you're interested in that, please go
Yeah,
to
even if you're not going to play them.
Itch. You could just Google Itch.io indie bundle for abortion funds, and it'll show up there. But it's, man, dumb if you don't buy this. Like, okay, maybe you don't want to support the cause, but like, okay, cool. Don't support the cause, I guess, and don't play 800 games. Who do you want me to tell you?
Is wrestling with emotions?
Wrestling with emotions. That sounds like something I want. Is it
Oh
wrestling?
my
Do you get
God.
to wrestle? Are you a lucha? Do you have a lucha mask? Are you
He's
greased up?
asking there's a lot of questions here.
They announced the sequel last year.
Oh, excellent. Speaking of, that's something I've been playing. I've on my phone. I've
Wrestling?
been playing Modern Wrestling Mania, which is a wrestling booker sim game. Andy, you can go to sleep. I'm going to talk to Matt for a moment.
Hey, buddy.
The adults are going to speak.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'll be over here.
The dumb
I'll be in the
idiot
corner.
adults are going to speak.
Yeah. I like pretend fighting.
Pick up your phone and download Modern Wrestling Mania, or Modern Mania Wrestling, I think it's called. You draft, you get a random assortment of wrestlers, and you book cards, and you level up the cards, and you're literally building a promotion from the ground up. I'm on year 20. You go through, there's 4 weeks a month, with the fourth week being you're downloading that shit.
Yeah, it's going.
The fourth week is a pay-per-view. You unlock different arenas, different match types, skits, promo types. You could level up your wrestlers, so like they could start as an opener or a jobber and end up being a main eventer or a legend. It's a lot of fun. It's a great time waster, but it's addictive. Like, you'll get in, like, I spent like $20 on this game already. Just
What?
because
Steve?
I don't care. They get my money.
It's a phone game,
I don't
man.
care. I don't care. They're about to come out
Oh,
with
good
a
Lord.
updated version of the game. They were gonna do a sequel,
What
but they
is wrong
decided
with
to
you?
just update this game,
Fair.
and it's gonna be called Modern Mania Wrestling GM, and they're adding like match like animations for the matches, better UI, additional thing, a ton of additional things, including a house show that you can do every month, so you could get your jobbers more work without sacrificing your score for the actual event, because it all leads to the gate, which gives you money. You use the money to buy more cards and like get more wrestlers.
Okay,
and stuff
hold
like
on.
that.
So let's rewind.
Yeah.
What did you spend $20 on?
I spent $5. I spent $5 to get like the starter pack or whatever it was, which is like,
Okay.
because at the end of the year at the end of every year you get a gold coin. Gold coins can be traded in for 100,000 cash, or you could use it to do to like refresh the store.
Mhm.
So you could just get guys a little bit quicker. It's random. The store's random for everybody. It's always
I see.
it's always a random 2 wrestlers, an event thing, and a match modifier. So like you can do all kinds of stuff with this money. But anyway, so and on even years you also get a gimmick coin, and the gimmick coins are used to bring your wrestler from one level to the other, or change their gimmick from.
I gotcha. Yeah. Like, so they go from like I'm a rookie to like, oh, this is my character now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's alternate costumes that you and that'll change their character as well, like different there's factions, tag teams, and you'll just be like putting 2 guys together. It's like, oh shit, they were a tag team, and you unlock their tag team card, which gives them a boost to their stats and stuff. So it's just, you're just sitting there and you're just fantasy booking. Like, you're like, oh, this guy's clearly supposed to be like the Roman Reigns of this universe, or this guy's
Right.
supposed to be, or here's the Shield, but like they're weird names.
No
or whatever.
blockers.
Yeah, there's but it's hilarious, and it's a lot of fun, and like there's a lot of nuance, and like I have these like feuds in my head, and the game keeps track of if you're having guys verse each other and like building a feud without really like building the feud.
Right. Like you're not. It's not like you're writing
Right.
the story,
But it'll be like feud
you're-
bonus, or
Yeah,
like
like
rival
these-
bonus. And I'm
These
like,
guys
oh.
have fought a bunch of times.
Yeah, and it keeps all of your records. It keeps everybody's title record. There's women's belt, women's tag, men's world title, tag title, TV title, and cruiserweight title. And it's just so much fun. Like I'm just having such a blast just sitting there doing that. And like when they come up with the GM and all your stuff is gonna carry over to the new game, so you don't have to worry about that. And there's also a new game plus, which I don't know if like there's a year cap.
Right.
I'm on year 20, like I said. I feel like 20 might be the end. I have no idea. If there even is an end.
You want to run an infinite promotion, right? You
Right.
want it to go forever and ever and ever.
And then like new game plus
Then-
would start you
now
over with all your
and
stuff.
I see.
So-
And forever. I see.
Yeah.
Right. So you can start from the beginning and be a better promotion from the get go.
Right, exactly. And have all your wrestlers and like whatever. I do wish that there was like a forced retirement thing where you could just like retire a card that you don't want to use anymore, like put it to the side and maybe like do like a retirement match as one of the modifiers,
gimmick
which
matches.
there could be. And then like a coming out of retirement like bonus, like because that's
He's
wrestling.
coming out of the ring.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, that's wrestling, right? Ric Flair's doing his last match like next month.
Sure. That'll be his last match.
It is. It's going. So they're doing dude. Do you see what they're doing for that event?
I know what they're doing. Yeah, I know. It's
you
crazy.
could get an action figure of you and Ric Flair made live right there for $400.
No, it's Ric Flair is broke, and he needs money.
No, that's not what it is at all. His son-in-law, like they were just talking, and he's hurt that he was like he is so upset that he didn't get to go out on his terms
The way
and
that
like
he wanted
the
to.
way that he wanted to go because
That's fair.
because he was broke in TNA and he did that all for the money.
Right.
And but he's turned his life around. He's he almost died twice. He actually was dead, pronounced like his heart's no longer beating. Oh wait, there it is. We got it. Like so I think he was just like I want to go out on my terms. So they're going in like a classic Jim Crockett. It's a Jim Crockett promotion. So like David Crockett is actually the promoter for like,
So
it's
going
really
back to his territory days.
It's and they had to upgrade their arena because they sold it out in like 17 minutes. It's gonna be a huge thing, and it's an indie show. Like there's gonna be a lot of wrestlers there doing like an undercard.
No,
and all that
yeah,
stuff. So
I've seen some stuff about it. I mean, I hope to God that
he doesn't die in the ring. Yes, me too.
Yeah, I mean, he's so
Andy, for
old,
context,
man.
he's 72 years old.
Yeah, and he's just still doing it, and it's great. I mean, like I'm very glad he's gonna get his
Indie
last
games
match on his term. But yeah,
we're talking about games at this point
indie
anymore?
games. We are now.
What's happening?
Let's talk about the indie. Let's get into the indie news report because there's a couple items here. First one is Rotwood was announced. Andy, this game looks phenomenal.
I mean, you know who made it, right?
I do. I do, but I can't. I keep forgetting the name.
This is like the guy that Don't Starve and Marco the Ninja.
Yeah. Yep.
this game looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous. They look at. I'm gonna put this in the chat, but like
The animation is ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh my god. Are you
It's
kidding
beautiful.
me? Yeah. This is
It's
one of the
straight up a cartoon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is. It absolutely is, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. Andy, you excited? I know you're excited.
It's a 4-player hacky slash, so we should all play together.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna happen when this game comes out. I mean, I just love how it's their game when you look at the art style. It's like it's it's theirs, and it's these guys do such great work. I mean, between like Mark of the Ninja, which is like side scrolly stealth game, and then roguelike with Don't Starve. This is like pure arcade action hacky slash 4-player co-op. Looks phenomenal.
Yeah, this is like
That's
all
so
hand
cute.
drawn. It reminds me of Castle Crashers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll have that because it does seem like the characters that you're walking around in seem pretty drastically different.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it is going to have that kind of a skill system almost, right? You know what I mean? Like how
different
Castle Crashers-
weapons and
Yeah. It looks so good. This is a super high on my can I fucking have this right now list.
yeah, I wasn't happy with the early access 2020 question mark.
Sometime eventually.
2020 question mark scares me.
Yeah.
Because
But if you look at that gameplay, it looks good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it looks polished.
yeah. Here's the thing. It scrolls from 2023, goes up to 24, down to 23, then to 20X, then to 20 question mark. So I'm thinking that's a way of them saying it's coming this year, the early access.
I hope so.
I
hope you're right.
I believe that.
I believe. I believe.
I do believe.
And also on the news, Sea of Stars is getting pushed hotly anticipated RPG from Sabotage.
Fine.
Yeah, it's pushed back to 2023. It's, of course, this is the retro style RPG. This from the team behind The Messenger, which The Messenger, oh my god.
Friends of the show.
Friends of the show, indeed. So here we're just going to read the statement that they put out. As we are closing in on a very big milestone, the road to launch becomes clearer, and we find ourselves here with a large body of text and our logos at the bottom, keeping in mind our two main priorities: quality of life for our team and quality of the finished game. We can now confirm that Sea of Stars will be released in 2023. We understand waiting is a big ask, and we want to sincerely thank our community for the overwhelming support and positive vibes. In the meantime, we are looking at options to get a playable slice out to everyone this year.
Oh,
all the love.
okay.
Sabo team.
That's nice. You know
Yep.
what about this game? I feel like if you follow their Twitter page, these guys post things daily
Mhm.
about the game.
Very active.
Videos, GIFs, snippets, screenshots. They're very transparent about the game development process. So take all the time you need because they're staying very vocal with
Yeah.
their audience. So do it. And the
Indeed.
game looks like
It looks beautiful.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's like Chrono Trigger revived, like reincarnation essentially when I see this game. And
Indeed.
I need it.
I will wait.
Yeah.
It is now time for the Kickstarter of the week. Which one of
what is-
you
this
nerds
is-
or turds put this
this
one in
was
there?
a-
So
This is Mr. Matt.
yeah, so I put this in here, and of course it's not loading for me,
It's not loading for me either.
which is sick.
I can read it.
The White
I
Raven.
White
loaded
Raven.
online.
There it
Well,
is. It just loaded.
Yep.
They doubled their goal, so there you go.
Yeah. So this was already funded by the time that I had found it.
It's been up for 9 days, so don't feel
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
bad.
But so
Oh my god, that was loud. Sorry,
Right?
chat.
That happened to me in my own ears.
That
Well, what's
scared
It
the
was-
shit out of me.
the Kickstarter video was like fucking
Oh,
full blast.
It was the loudest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry
Anyway.
about that, listeners and chat
How's
people
your-
and all
how's
that
your
stuff.
ears?
Everybody calm down. Everybody. All right, hold on. Let me count my balls for God's sakes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good.
We're good.
All right, go ahead. Tell me
Oh,
about
it did it again.
it got you. Huh?
It resets. But so I don't know, I was kind of surfing around the Kickstarters, actually looking for board games, stumbled on this, and the art really caught me. It's like a really beautiful looking pixel art style, really detailed, kind of little above like Super Nintendo quality, I would say.
Yeah, it
somewhere in
looks
that
like
era.
it looks like Moonlighter.
Yeah, kind of looks
a
like
little
that.
bit, Yeah.
And it's all like it's tactical combat, but it seems to take place on a much smaller grid, and it feels more like board gamey, where like it's kind of like line fighting, or like grid fighting in a very small area. And I don't know, it piqued my interest.
It's from Singapore.
Oh yeah, my
Mm.
favorite.
Matt, stop trolling Kickstarter for board games. You have enough as it is.
Yeah,
Nope.
seriously. Enough.
Nope, I never will.
Now, I will say about this game, it's smashing its goal on the cash side,
Mhm.
but it's got some social goals, which I want to see happen.
That's really cool.
There's one here. You get a pet chicken called Mr. Cluckles and a quest,
and a quest to obtain it.
obtain it. They need 1,000 Discord followers. I think they're almost at 200 according to this. Guys, this
can do
costs
this.
this costs nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr.
Just-
Cluckles.
Just get on their Discord now.
They
the
got
love of God.
retweets for a weapon, alternate outfit for Steam wish lists.
Yeah, fuck that. Cluckles.
But
Mr. Cluckles to you.
This chicken pet. Yes, to you. Yeah.
join the Discord, wish list on
If-
Steam, follow.
I'm-
This
I'm-
is a really
I'm-
good
I'm-
Kickstarter.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It looks like it's gonna be a fun game to explore. It looks like there's some there's also some like town that was the other part. So there was some dark cloudiness to it, right? Where like there's some town building
I'm
to it,
listening.
where you're like building up your tribe as you're exploring.
Yes.
And it has a lot of elements of things that I enjoy all in one package. And so like you grow and build your tribe, and I don't know, it looks fantastic. Check out the Kickstarter page. Read more, Steve. You'll love
I
this
am.
game.
So there's loadouts that you could pick out. So there's also, you get to play with elemental stuff. So like if there's puddles on the ground and use a lightning attack, it'll chain the lightning, attacking everything that's near puddles. Use the terrain to your advantage. You got mid to long range abilities. I'm scrolling down a little bit here. Oh, boss battles. Hell yeah.
Big old open world.
Love that. Yep. Open world. You could create your own origin for your character. And sort of shape the story however you want.
There's just a lot to love.
It seems like there's a lot of ambition here. So here's the build and grow your tribe. Taking up the mantle of leader means taking care of your own tribe. This will be the base of your operations to plan and strategize. But more importantly, it will be a place of respite for you and your allies, a place where you can share and engage with them, growing your bonds ever deeper. There are a variety of benefits that come from upgrading your tribe. In addition to providing passive buffs that will aid you in battles, each time you improve a building, you will be expanding the amount and rarity of weapons and items you can craft and purchase at a steep discount within your tribe. So you upgrade the different things, you upgrade the shops, you upgrade all that stuff. So yeah, I'm down with that. Oh man, do I have to back this?
You do.
I literally just backed it.
Yep. I heard you did.
I hate you.
Yeah.
It's not even supposed to be out until like 2024.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got some time. But it's got 23 weeks left, so I don't know. Future guest of the show, Andy?
Oh, for sure.
From Singapore.
Would be the first, actually.
Yeah, would not. You're absolutely right.
The first in Singapore.
We have a reader question, so I want to kick it to chat. Chat, if you have any questions or stories that you want to put in, please feel free to do so now. But we do have a reader question. This is coming from Josh. This was brought up in our Discord. Josh was actually one of our former guests of the Dual Screens podcast, but we were having a discussion about indie games and indie studios. So he had a little to say. I thought maybe we could kick it to us and see what we think of this topic. Josh says, Sea of Stars looks incredible, but is also the poster child for why the industry needs a new term halfway between indie and AAA. It puts big expectations on smaller indie teams when consumers browse, quote, indie sections on PSN, Steam, etc., and all the top sellers are games with big teams and seven-figure budgets. Ultimately, a great thing for players, but then you have the smaller indies competing with the bigger indies for storefront space, retweets, positive reviews, etc., because there's no small indie versus big indie distinction like there is indie versus AAA distinction. Indies and AAAs get graded by a different rubric. We give a little leeway when we see an indie FPS instead of saying fun, but the graphics suck compared to Halo or Borderlands. What gives? But as an indie dev, I feel like a lot of players, especially those who browse indie storefronts casually, not the people who keep up on the indie news like us, tend to grade smaller indies against big indies. Kind of a why doesn't this game look like this game sort of thing. So not necessarily a question, but a good topic of discussion. And I wanted to kick it to you, Andy. What do you think about this?
You know, it's funny because,
and this is coming from an indie dev, by the way. Just
correct, yeah. It rings true. I mean, listen, Kojima is an indie game developer. Yet looking at his games, those are not indie game budgets in any way. Former guest of the show and friend of the show, Splitgate.
Yep.
Is trying to move away from the label of indie because of their funding that they have for their game. It's like, well, yes, we're independent, but we have all this cash reserve. How can we be an indie game studio? It doesn't jive with what an indie experience is, which is, scrappy, low budget, most of the time, smaller dev teams. And I feel like it's unfair when you look at a game and you say, well, this is like a Hollow Knight ripoff, or it's a Cuphead ripoff. We've seen this before several times, and it's stuck. Like those games, they have like once they get the attention, they get the budget and the money, and they evolve out of what an indie game is supposed to be in some ways. And I think that having like what would you even call it though? What would you call a game between indie and AAA that expresses
Triple indie.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's a thought.
One thing that I instantly gravitate towards is how the film industry does things. So, I was in plenty of independent films, and they all have different budgets, but the way the Screen Actors Guild, and again, that's a union, so again, unions kind of force this change, but they come up with terms such as a micro budget and a small budget. So I was in a micro budget film, a micro budget independent film, which wound up getting a distributor, not a producer. Well, it had producers, but it was still considered a micro budget because the budget was under $50,000. So the whole movie was made for less than $50,000. And because it was classified as a micro budget, there were limits to how much you had to pay your union actors. So that's why that kind of comes into play. Now, I think in gaming, you're looking at micro budget games. You're looking at self-funded games. I think gaming is more like music than it is movies. It's kind of like it's caught in this like middle ground. There's garage bands that record on their own audio equipment, push their CDs on the street, like try to get people to listen to them, whatever, play local clubs. Like there are indie developers that are just like that. Like they're making this thing in their spare bedroom or their parents' garage or parents' basement, with like 3 other friends or nobody, and they're just living off of ramen noodle trying to make this thing, and then they go save all their money, go to PAX East and try and show it to people, right? Like so I think that one of the things that we need to keep in mind is that by definition, indie means it's without a publisher. It's independently developed of a publishing arm. A lot of indie developers search for publishers after their game is ready to show so that they could fund their game. I think by definition, you can't be an indie game publisher. That's just weird to me.
But those exist though.
They do.
Like, a lot of those exist.
They do. And what they really are is distributors. They're more in the line of a film distributor that will press the DVDs for you or get you a deal on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Like those, they'll go out and they'll represent you, but they're not giving you $300,000 to make your movie. Your movie's already done. And in some cases, obviously these publishers will pay money to get the game on their catalog, yada, yada. So like I think we do need another term for that. But I think like underground games, could be a term used for like that really micro or just go with micro budget. Like this is a micro budget AAA game. Which means no outside money was brought in. Or if it was crowdfunded. Because the money isn't what makes something not indie. It's the
publisher.
It's the dependence upon somebody else.
Yeah, because you're independent.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think I would. I mean, not that we're coining this term here. I just don't think that bringing monetary value into the genre of game that you are is important. I think the music comparison is the closest. I think we come to really understanding what the problem is here, and it really is exposure more than anything else, right? Like you could have the greatest game ever that you made for $0 in your free time, and you don't find
it costs
a publisher,
you money to make.
But it costs you money to make it, and you don't have a publisher, but it's awesome, it's amazing, and the 10 people that know about it will evangelize it to everybody, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't have a platform. And I think that's really kind of the main issue, is that we have platforms to distribute games, but those platforms are so flooded with games that it's hard for games like, on a smaller scale to break through. And, years ago, when indie games weren't as prevalent as they are now, it was much easier to break through because it was like a star, right? Like Super Meat Boy came out and everybody's like, oh my God, Super Meat Boy. And it was like the biggest thing ever, right? And they got the deal with Xbox, and it was huge. And like when that whole indie game revolution started, but now there's so many that the disparity between a studio like Team Meat or just a smaller studio that doesn't have that kind of pull, it becomes much harder to get any kind of visibility. And I think, not that I'm trying to find a solution here, but something like an itch.io that gets more public view is a really great way to lend exposure and stop burying true independent games, which is I think really what the crux of the problem is. It's not that nobody wants to play these games, or
right.
I mean, you could say that it is a terminology difference, because technically it is, but like colloquially, I don't know if people are going to be willing to change that.
It's like
it's just a platform is I think what they need,
because we have triple A of indie games, like your Yacht Club games, those studios, which again, they have the name power and they have the bigger team and the bigger budget, and like you can look at it and say, how indie is this still to a certain point? At what point can you shed that? If yes, you're independent, but I think that struggle aspect that comes along with the label of being indie is gone at a certain point. I think that's also an issue, because
you become self-sustained.
A big part of it is like, I get, it's that scrappiness that like we've met devs who are over budget, or mortgage their homes to put a game out there, or have $10 in the bank when their game launches. And a lot of the bigger indie game studios don't face this problem, and they're put front and center in the space, in the indie category.
But go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, there's even more to this problem though, because like you and I know that Yacht Club Games has that pedigree and has the money behind it. But if you took Shovel Knight and put it up against what's that horror game coming out this year, the Dead Space one,
Callisto Protocol.
Protocol.
Oh yeah.
You put them together, and the person's gonna think that Shovel Knight is indie and Callisto Protocol is a AAA game.
Yeah, it's
just
because
game.
it's making a new Dead Space.
Yeah, because of the way it looks.
Right.
But there are solo devs making the Callisto Protocol style games out there. And
Negative Atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly. That was the one I originally thought about, and I just couldn't. Right. It just wasn't coming to my head. But yeah, Negative Atmosphere.
That game does not look like an indie game
at all.
Yeah, by what the standard is,
and that's going to give it that
is part
panache from the beginning.
But that's the issue.
Right.
There's some sort of like standard we all have in our head of what an indie game is supposed to look like.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I
think a lot of them.
Yeah,
don't adhere to that anymore like they used to. Like in the days of Beat Boy and Limbo and Braid, those are gone.
Yeah, I think we've just like entered, just like you're saying, we've entered like this in the past like 3 or 4 years, especially. We've entered this new realm where indie games have gone from these like pixelated platformers or throwback RPGs, even though we still have
hand-drawn stuff,
even though we still have those, to such like a insanely diverse field of games with graphics that can be anywhere between an SNES and a fucking PS5. You know what I mean? Like, and we have games that span that length, and so it is really hard to encapsulate with one term everything that exists inside of that bubble, because there is such a huge difference between those things, right? Like you said, Steve, like Shovel Knight, like you look at Shovel Knight and you look at the Callisto Protocol or even Negative Atmosphere, and they're so drastically different that you would think that one had a ton of publishing help or backing and the other didn't, even though Yacht Club Games, arguably in that particular comparison between Negative Atmosphere and Shovel Knight, Yacht Club Games is actually the bigger name there
and has infinitely more funds.
Yeah.
Now, one term I want to throw around, and I think the reason why this term would never stick is because it has too much of a connotation to it. But what if we went and said, if you are using your savings to make a game or whatever, or you're crowdfunding to make a game, you're an amateur game maker. It's an amateur game. It's an amateur independent video game.
I will tell you right now that people that are making those games will hate that.
I know.
Bro, Yacht Club just did crowdsourcing for the next game.
Yeah, right.
Right. Well,
Nina is a crowdsourced game.
Yes. But they usually do that as a marketing tool, not a funding tool.
I think that there is a level of game that's
like pre-orders. That's what that is.
But I think that there is probably a level of game development that you could extend that name to, right? Like itch.io is probably the closest thing we have to a platform for things like this, where it's like a lot of people just kind of messing around, right? Where they're just kind of screwing around and doing game dev. And there's great games on there, but there's also just like wacky, hey, I fucking had an afternoon and I made this free thing that everybody
experimental
can play.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Know?
I think the term amateur is not, it's derogatory a little bit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I'm looking at it not as amateur in skill level. I'm looking at amateur as amateur versus professional.
Right. Yeah. Like you're an amateur athlete.
Yeah. Like an amateur athlete, a minor league athlete, a professional athlete. Like they're, you know, or like, well, that's not even true because minor league athletes are professional athletes, but you know what I mean? Like if somebody is, if an entity, a publisher in this case, or whatever, is paying you for you to develop a game, you're a professional, you know, developer. But if you're going based on, let's say, crowdfunding or whatever, that's an indie game. And then if you're just funding it yourself because nobody knows you exist, you're an amateur. And then, oh my God, your game took off. Well, guess what? You're a professional because now your funds came in. You're an LLC. You're, you know, whatever you're doing. Your success from your previous game is what's funding your next game. You're a professional. I don't know. It's tough to define those in that way.
Yeah. I don't think that defining, like labeling games is where the issue actually lies. I think that it solely lies in visibility. Like you can call an indie game, and like, you know, we can slowly try to turn the tide and find a different title for games that are truly independent now. But there is just the culture in video games is what it is right now, and that is what people call indie games. And so I think more than anything, the ability to show your game to people and not have it buried in a storefront is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is, right? Is that these star games, you know, games that get bought a lot, or these well-known publishing arms like Devolver and all them, they have weight. And if you don't have any weight, you're not going to break through that. And so giving a place for people like that to have a spotlight is really important.
I like Underground. I'm going with that. Underground indie game. This is an underground indie game not a lot of people have heard about.
The raw underground.
A raw, uncut indie underground 94.7.
It's you know, it's a little you do that. It's a little bittersweet. I feel like indies, there's so many of them, God bless you.
Thank you.
That they blur the line between indie and AAA to such a great extent. It sort of makes some of the quote unquote lesser indie games look bad by comparison.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's like an issue. Like the ones that do really well and look great are like they're right on that line of like, you're nearly what a AAA game is supposed to be in your production value, your budget, your team. And it's making the ones that are underneath it, that are on the scrappier side, you're fighting in the same pool of games for attention. And these better ones that look close to AAA are getting all the attention.
Yeah. You know, there's a reason why Green Day was 86th from Gilman Street, right? Right, Matt? You get it.
Yeah.
Because they sold out and they went with a publisher and they couldn't play at the clubs they used to play with before they signed on with the big major
They
label.
made a bajillion dollars
And they
and are
made
one of the biggest bands in the world.
And now they could go there and play.
And they're like,
Yeah,
who gives a
exactly.
shit?
So I'm just gonna hit the chat real quick because we got our friend Buzz Killington in there. Fall Guys, that was indie. It now had 50 million players playing it. This
Yeah,
weekend.
but Fall Guys had.
I mean, it's free to
Devolver's
play now,
Corner, you know.
I don't think. Can you take away? Can you? No, you're not anymore. It's a lie. You're not an indie game.
I mean, the game was independently developed, but
No, I
like,
know.
maybe that studio is no longer independently
Right.
funded.
And Devolver is its own like curator of like AAA indie games into itself, like
Yeah.
Cult of the Lamb. Like that's
Yeah,
like
that's-
that looks like the next Hades. Like that group, like they do like
Oh,
that pushes the line.
not Supermassive.
Supergiant,
Supergiant. I love them.
even Supermassive,
Even Supermassive. That's
Yeah,
another one.
That's another one.
Like Until Dawn, technically an indie game.
Yeah,
That was just
Supergiant's one. If
wind
if
up
they,
being
if,
published by PlayStation.
if they like announce a game, I'm like, oh shit, this one. That's one that
Yeah.
has it has
Yeah.
like a weird artistic weight too, right? Like it's different than Devolver because they're a single studio that just has.
I liked them
Beautiful
before
games.
they were published.
like I mean, did you see that Rotwood trailer? It's like over 1 million
Mwah.
views. Like it's like, you know,
Yeah,
it's a
it's-
different pedigree of indie games, you know.
you
I do.
totally just threw me off my shit,
Yeah,
asshole.
My bad.
No, it's all gravy.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Very good talk. I'm happy with that talk. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the talking we're going to do this evening. That is going to bring us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you want to follow us on social media, we're at dual_screens. You should definitely go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dualscreens.tv, and subscribe to the channel right now. Because August 17th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to have so many indie games to show you in our another indie game showcase. You could follow me at Batchout27, Andy's at PantsGuy, Matt is at Mr. Nuff. Join our Patreon so you can hang out with us in Discord. We hang out there all the time, and some of our Patreon supporters are playing D&D with us right now. So
It's true.
we hang out all the time. It's a great place to chill and meet people who are passionate about indie games and video games in general. We don't only talk about indie games on Dual Screens. We also have Crossplay Podcast hosted by Taylor. I'm actually hosting it this week while Taylor is away. That is our AAA Big 3 plus PC video game news show, so you can check that out. And of course, check out the Dual Screens Podcast, our indie developer and actor and voice actor and all that, producer, blah blah blah, all that fun stuff, interview show. So you can go and check that out as well. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. And as always, please be excellent to each other.